Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with the lovely Beth Thomas, and she is a mother of two extraordinary. She has two extraordinary men, and she's a grandmother. She's a co-founder and director of the Tucson Youth at Risk program and has done hours of happy volunteering. Beth has spent her 81 years in motion. Adventures, travel like hiking, scuba diving, mountain climbing, and overcoming health challenges with motion, not medicine. We all know or can Google everything, but the missing link is how to get started actively doing all we know we can be. So we are excited to hear Beth talk about learning how to kick ass. Beth, take it away.
Thank you, Randy. Yes, I have spent 81 years, and it was only recently that I discovered that I had to kick ass. And I'm not talking about anybody else's. I'm talking about my own or our own. What we have to do is take charge of our own life, because really, that's all we've got available that can really make a difference. So I want to share with you briefly the story of Beth as a little girl. I was so fortunate. I learned to swim when I was 2 because I was thrown off the dock, and I'm sure there was somebody there to catch me, but I started swimming. And at 3, I learned how to run because I heard some kids playing off in the distance, and I thought it sounded like so much fun that I toddled over and up a hill to the nursery school because I wanted to play. And learning how to ride a bike, I kind of fell off a couple of times. You might be able to relate. But after finally saying to myself, today I'm going to ride a 2-wheeler, I asked my dad to take off my training wheels. He ran along beside me, and then whoosh, I got, and I'm sure you remember the feeling too, balance. So I was a triathlete by the time I was 6 years old. It wasn't anything I planned. I was totally fortunate. So my whole life, as Randy told you, I've been just so blessed to be able to go scuba diving around the world, to lead groups to Cuba before anybody went back to Cuba. This was in the mid-90s. I took 48 people to scuba dive in Cuba. And I dove in Yugoslavia before Jacques Cousteau got a permit. It was all luck and good fortune. So when I started not having such good fortune by having a bad back, I wondered how I was going to be able to keep having fun and doing all these adventurous things. I couldn't even walk from my bedroom to the kitchen to get food. I had no idea what was going to become of my life, and I'd loved it up until then. Well, what happened is I started going to the doctors in New York City and finally found a young medical doctor who asked me what I'd been doing. And I said, lying down, feeling sorry for myself. He went, Beth, have you tried physical therapy? Swimming? Nope. Have you been to a chiropractor? No. Well, it was no, 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 no to everything that he asked me. Finally, he said, Beth, I want you to listen to your body and do what it tells you to do next. That was the beginning of a small little thought that I had some control. I could maybe kick ass in my life. And so I started. I started on a program where I listened and I did what my body told me to do next. I tried all sorts of things. Yeah, the physical therapy, the chiropractor, the acupuncture, all of that. And each thing helped me a little bit. It helped me so much that people were calling me from all over the country. Beth, what are you doing to heal yourself? No, I said, I'm not healing myself. I'm taking care of myself, and I'm putting my body in a position where it can heal itself. That's what our body is meant to do. Our bodies are so beautiful. Why are we effing them up by over medicating, by doing things that aren't good for ourselves, like not getting enough sleep, or for heaven's sakes, not enough water? I hope you take a chance to get some water for yourself right now. So I found out by listening to my body, and it told me what to do next. And the miracle was I found out about water walking. No, not on the water, in the water. I would hear in my voice in the head, John Philip Sousa marches, and I would walk in the shallow end of the pool, marching to the music. Remember the song, Be kind to the web-footed friends, for the duck may be somebody's mother. Well, it worked. A half an hour in the morning and a half an hour at night. So all through my life, when I'd taken medication, when I went to the doctor, you remember what it's like. Oh, I'm in such agony, or oh, I feel so sick. Give me anything. Well, they used to. They give me all sorts of things, Valium, Percodan, painkillers, whatever. None of that worked. It covered up the symptoms. It didn't deal with the whole problem that I had. What was the cause of it? So once I discovered that I was in the driver's seat, or I could kick my own ass and get in action and listen to what my body told me, my whole life started turning around. And when at 70, I asked my massage therapist, "Oh, Craig, what are you training for?" "Oh, that feels so good." He said, "A sprint triathlon." I went, "What the hell is that?" He told me, bike, swim, and run. That I knew, a triathlon, but it was half the distances. Gee, I wondered if that would be fun. I made a decision. You've got to make a decision, not like maybe I'll do it someday. No, kick your ass. When are you going to start, Beth? I signed up for something, the Huntsman Senior World Games, in October, and it was February when I had the massage. Do the math. I had lots of time to do it. So every day I did a little bit of something, a little swim, a little bike, a little run, or a little walk. So by the time I showed up at St. George, Utah, that October morning, it was dark, it was cold. I had no idea what to do, but I showed up. Kicking ass is showing up in your own life. Are you beginning to get this? It's not rocket science. If you want rocket science, as Randy said, go on the internet. There's a lot of science on the internet. I'm not talking about science. I'm talking to you one-to-one about a whole lifetime filled with finding out how I could survive, do better, move on. And this is what I'm sharing with you. So you might not have the same circumstances, but I'll bet you've had plenty of chances when you go, gee, I should do something. Do we get it done? Do we even start? Those of you that have heard Mel Robbins, she's my hero. She has a book that's called The 5-Second Rule. The deal is when you think of about doing something, start counting backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, and you're up and doing it. I promise you. It is so simple. I'm not bringing you terribly complicated things. I'm saying, look what you want in your life. Decide that you're going to do something about it. Make a plan, get in action, and kick your ass. Get out the door every day. That's what I do. I get up every day. I started doing it. Now it's hardly like me getting me outdoors. My body just says, okay, Beth, it's cold today. Get on warm gloves and a hat. Let's go. I walk an average of 5 miles. I'm not great. I'm not a super athlete, but I kick my ass and I have some fun doing it. So I walk 5 miles, usually 3.5 in the morning. Secret, it helps if you have a dog, because the dog needs to go out. The dog wants to go out. So we go out together and have a blast. But it's just you doing what you want with your life. And let me tell you, if you've got a job and you're in business, When you take care of your health and welfare and you do good exercises and drink plenty of water and get lots of sleep, you're going to be much more inclined to get up and go to work and do well at work and be healthy at work. Do I sound like I have a cold? Yes. I, like many other people, have got this cold that's going around, and I'm taking care of myself. I'm getting sleep. And once a week, I climb something called, ready for this? Tumamok. It's a hill, but it's actually a mile and a half, pretty much straight up. And yesterday I did it, and I'm like, I'm not sure. I've got plenty of water and I've got the right clothes on. I've got my good hiking shoes, but I just kept going. I'll go up to that corner and then I'll get up to that tree and I'll stop a little bit and look at the view of Tucson. Then I'll do a little bit more. I took my niece and nephew and their children the other day up to Mammoth, and the 8-year-old was like, I'm not sure I can do this. But you know what? He gave me courage yesterday to keep going because he kept going. He saw a challenge, kicked his ass, and got to the top of Tumamok, which is a very challenging, fun thing. So when I started up the mountain, I went, okay, Eli, come along, pal. I'm going to use you as my great monarch today, and I'm going to follow you up the mountain. Make it fun. Figure out a way to make it work for yourself. It's up to you. I went to camp when I was a little girl, and there was a wonderful head of the camp. We called her the wise old owl. And she had an expression, and I want to share it with you. And when you wonder if you can do something or if someone's coming along to help you, remember this. To wit to woo, it's up to you. Nobody else is coming. The cavalry isn't coming over the desert there. No one's coming to save you, but you're there and you're going to kick ass and you're going to do it. I want you to do something. I want you to take action by saying next morning, especially good in the morning. If you can't do it every time you can in the day, but set a time, get up and go outside, take a walk. If you haven't been doing anything, make it 10 minutes. Just stroll around your house. If you have been, make it 10 minutes longer than you usually go. But I want you to do that tomorrow. Get up and go out. Then I want you to see how you feel. Did it make a difference? Did you feel accomplished? Did you feel like you kicked ass because you kept your word to yourself? That's what it's about. It's not about doing anything crazy or big or rocketing to the moon. No, it's taking about small steps, but taking them every day. My secret, a little bit of something every day over time creates miracles. I want a miraculous life for each one of you, no matter where you are now. Because if we all start walking and taking care of ourselves, it's going to spread. We're going to have 10, then we're going to have 20, then we're going to have 100, 1,000, 1,000,000. Do you know what's going to happen when we get everybody out walking, taking care of themselves and not saying, well, I'll just take any medication they give me because I just don't want to feel bad anymore. Do you know that taking a walk is the best thing you can do for your mental health, your spiritual health, and obviously for your physical health too? So take a walk every day, increase the time, change where you go, move it up, do it with a friend, get a dog. But look at your life and say, what do I want? What's going to work for me? What's workability in my life? You define it. You get to do that. And pretty soon, you know what I believe is going to happen? And I need your help to have it happen. When we start being responsible and kicking ass and taking care of ourselves, pretty soon we're going to say, I don't want to take that medication because you know what? I'm already on one and I'd like to get off that blood pressure medicine like my sister did. And we can do it. We can start to take care of ourselves, advocate for ourselves. One of my best friends in my realty business, she said, you know, Beth, I would not have been able to survive cancer if I hadn't advocated for myself? Think about that. I want you to advocate for yourself, but start by taking small steps. I'd love it if you wanted to get in touch with me. If you have Calendly on your phone, mine is just /Beth Thomas Health. Not that I'm a health practitioner. I'm practicing my own health, and I'm suggesting that we all can do it. Because when we have a country who takes care of, each one takes care of themselves and their families, do you know what'll happen? Our whole healthcare is going to shift. We're not going to be treating symptoms. We're going to be looking at causes. We're going to help prevent future diseases. Do you know that as many as 80% of the people in our country, they have at least one chronic disease? Just like me, and maybe just like you. I have something called colitis, and I've learned that I don't take medication for it. I watch what I eat. Pretty simple. What goes in your body nourishes it or poisons it. You get to choose. One thing I'd love to suggest you do is just completely get off soda. I went cold turkey on a soda drink, a diet soda that I won't even mention, but I was addicted to it. And I knew the amount of sugar that I was having. So I said, I'm not going to have any more and cold turkey on it. Is there something that you're doing that you want to kick ass and cold turkey on? Think about it. Take a few minutes and just look at your life. What's working? Congratulations. And what isn't? Let's get all those things that aren't working and aren't serving us and aren't making us happy and get rid of them. I've found I'm made happy by the smallest things, not huge things. Huge things are great. I mean, I love diamonds and things like that, but I'm not talking about big things. I'm talking about little things that make you happy. A sip of a delicious wine that you love, making a recipe something that you've always wanted to try, and it turns out wonderfully. Doing things because you say you want to, not because you have to, but you want to. You want to have fun. You want to be vibrant. You want to have energy. You want to be all you can be, just in case this is our one and only life. I've had ups and downs, and my ups have been a lot more fun than my downs. But do get in touch with me. Call me at Calendly. The best time is between 8 and 9 in the morning, Mountain Time, or 5 and 6 in the evening, Mountain Time. So that would be 2 hours more in Eastern Time now. So 10 o'clock Eastern for an hour, or 7 o'clock in your time in the East. And let's talk about your life. What is you doing? What could you be doing? I don't tell you what to do. I listen to you and I find out what you want. And when you want it badly enough, and I know you're committed to it, my commitment is to make sure you get what you want in your life. So let's talk and let's walk together. It's been a pleasure being with you today, and I can't wait to find out kicking ass.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beth. That was great. And you're right. The only way to implement things or have yourself move forward is to take action, to start, and you have to start somewhere, right? So taking that first step is fabulous, and having someone you can be accountable to or to work with, like yourself, is fantastic. So, just adding a little thing in every day, or creating that habit, right? We have
Yes,
to create those habits, and when
perfect.
something works for you, then you just keep doing it. And like myself, every morning I get up and I work out. I know that if it hits the middle or the end of the day, it's not happening. So I do it the first thing when I wake up. It's out of the way. It's done. I know I'm good, right? Anything else?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Anything else is a bonus, right? But at least
Exactly.
I know
Exactly.
I got that in. But I totally agree with you. And I always tell people, because I talk about podcasts that I've done years ago. I've done over 300 of them. And the very first one is terrible, right? It's amateur, it's terrible. And I said, but you have to start. Like, it doesn't matter. Just start, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. And,
Yes.
and that's with anything in your life. So I love your message. And, I hope that people will reach out to you and want to get some guidance from you and help, because I know a lot of people have trouble with this, right?
Well, I think it's easier if you have somebody to do it with. Like I didn't bring in the Lone Ranger, but that's actually how I was being a lot of my life. And so I decided to shoot the Lone Ranger. Bam, 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 bam. And it's made a lot of difference. And do I make mistakes? Sure. And I just know it's much nicer when we're good to ourselves. The word I've chosen for myself for this year is grace. Give yourself some grace. Be gentle with yourself. There's enough going on in the world. We don't have to beat ourselves up too.
Absolutely. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. Well, thank you so much
Thank you for the
a won-
opportunity.
for a wonderful presentation. And please, reach out, comment on the posts, reach out to Beth, and I know she'll be absolutely thrilled to help you. So thank you again for a great presentation.
Thank you, Randy, so much.